In the top stories, Jeff Broomes has some hard-hitting final words. Finance Minister issues a warning to statutory corporations, and a Flow official is satisfied with the local rebranding. Welcome to Nation News for Friday, December 4th, 2015. I am Natasha Beckles. Outgoing principal of Parkinson Memorial School, Jeff Broomes, has come out swinging in his final address to the school's speech day on Friday. He detailed many of the conflicts which occurred in the past academic year, charging that these led to a reversal of many of the improvements which had started at the school. Speaking to an audience which included Minister of Education Ronald Jones, current and retired staff, and other principals, Mr. Broomes said students' academic performance slipped considerably when his teachers took industrial action.
Our children are the level where they need continual and intense teaching. This they did not get during the year under review. They were denied such teaching before the industrial action. They got no teaching during the industrial action, and they were given very little teaching after the industrial action. Our children suffered and were left out in the cold to satisfy some groups' grab for publicity and position almost with impunity. Some time ago, one of my friends, while objecting to my position, suggested that the Ministry of Education, which should be providing solutions to our problems, had become the problem. Recently, I have been forced to wonder if he was not right.
Mr. Broomes said despite the challenges, students did well in sports, art, and music. You can hear more from him in a Nation News Extra on our YouTube channel and Facebook page. Emergency officials were rushed to the Barbados Defense Force and Sport headquarters on Friday in response to reports of a threat against the facility around 9:45 a.m. This prompted the evacuation of the base and the nearby Barbados Light and Power headquarters on Bay Street. Access to the BDF was also restricted. Police and fire officials gave the all-clear around 20 to 2. Minister of Finance Chris Sinkler has demanded that steps be taken to reduce inefficiencies in statutory corporations. Addressing the Barbados Audit Office's award ceremony and dinner on Thursday night, he said inefficiency is posing a systemic danger to the financial stability of Barbados. Mr. Sinkler said sanctions may have to be pursued in cases where entities have the necessary resources to meet their legal responsibilities but fail to do so.
We will have to move to the stage where perhaps we will have to recommend to Cabinet that appropriate sanctions be put in place for statutory entities and others who fail to meet those responsibilities as prescribed under the law. We can no longer expect that the altruism of voluntarism in relation to doing what is right will get us over the line in this regard.
During the ceremony, 33 employees were honored for their work and commitment. Managing Director of Flow Barbados, Niall Sheehy, says he is pleased with the way the company's rebranding has been going. He made the comments on Wednesday night during the launch of the Let Christmas Flow promotion at Fusion Rooftop Restaurant at Lime Grove.
This time last year, the discussion, if we were going back in time, this time last year, the discussion, I guess, was all about the merger between Cable and Wireless, or the acquisition by Cable and Wireless of Columbus, and I guess it got approved finally at the end of March. So effective 1st of April, we're 9 months in, less than 9 months in. We're 8 months into the merger, and what we've achieved in 8 months has actually been incredible. We've pulled two companies together, we've moved into new buildings, we've consolidated our staff, we've migrated tens of thousands of customers onto the new network. Has there been some challenges along the way? Yes, and I guess we can't hide from that. There has been some technical issues as we went along, but if you look at the achievements that we have, it's actually incredible.
The Ministry of Health is working on a national cancer action plan aimed at addressing the root causes and solutions for common preventable cancers. This was revealed by Health Minister John Boyce on Friday during the opening of the Gynecological Cancer and Diagnostic Unit at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. He said gynecological cancers were responsible for an average of 20 deaths annually over the last 5 years. Mr. Boyce said it is only through a comprehensive national cancer screening and prevention program that lower rates will be achieved. Employees of businesses in Christchurch and St. Philip have been sharing their knowledge of gender and HIV discrimination in the workplace with the Ministry of Labour. The ministry's project unit, through its HIV/AIDS awareness program, conducted a survey of 200 people on Thursday during a bus tour. Project coordinator Rhonda Farley shared how the information would be used.
That information will be used to basically develop our program within the Ministry of Labour. We're going to see what we need to do going forward. In terms, as I said, we want to find out what people know about discrimination and so on, because we're bringing the legislation. So that information would help us to further strengthen our legislation and so on.
The Challenger Creative Arts and Training Centre has staged a walk to mark International Day for People with Disabilities. A group clad in orange marched from the Parliament buildings to Independence Square, chanting "We need rights too" and "Enough is enough." Organizer Joycelyn Brathwaite-Haynes said the march was undertaken to sensitize the public about the disabled community. Two St. James centenarians have been celebrating the coveted milestone. On Thursday, Beryl Padmore became the latest centenarian, while Mildred Eiffel marked her special day on Sunday but got her visit from Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave on Thursday. Both women were toasted by relatives and friends who said they were hard workers. In sport, West Indies are facing a humiliating innings defeat against a youthful Cricket Australia 11 in Brisbane. A second innings batting collapse left them hanging by a thread on the penultimate day of their 4-day tour match on Friday. Trailing by 201 on first innings in reply to the host's 444 all-out, West Indies slumped to 125 for 7 at the close. And finally, a Cornwall woman was shell-shocked when she cracked an extra-large egg and a second one rolled out into her frying pan. When Jane Keith told her husband Chris, he thought she was joking, but ended up reaching for his camera phone when he looked at the pan. The inner egg was about the size of a coin and its shell was still intact. Jane ended up cracking it open only to find there was no yolk inside, just the egg white. Experts say the rare phenomenon is just a quirk of nature and can occur if the chicken receives a shock during egg production. And that's Nation News for Friday. For more news, log on to nationnews.com, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. Remember to pick up your papers over the weekend or subscribe to our e-paper. And look out for the Weekend Buzz a little later. Thank you so much for joining us.